This is going to be your weekly chakra energy check-in. If it's meant for you, it's meant for you. We're going to take a look at the energies you may be experiencing throughout your chakras. So in the comments, please let me know your word of the day, word of the week, your vibe, whatever you'd like to share. So as I'm filming this, it is Tuesday afternoon. Obviously, this reading is timeless. However, today I filmed this at a different time of day than I normally do. And the reason for that is because I wanted to feel out the vibes. It is very different in the air right now. Very different from, let's say, a few days ago even. I noticed that the full moon energy was more intense after the fact than I think during or at the beginning of the full moon. Now, full moon was on Friday night, and I think it was pretty low key because right after, I think that's when people were feeling the emotions, and that's when all the, things were coming to the surface. Now, the word I've been using is interesting a lot lately because interesting can mean anything, and that's kind of the vibe. Anything is possible right now. Any feeling makes sense. It's all over the place. Now, I sat down to film this and all of a sudden the rain just started pouring down. And I think that's very reminiscent of the emotions right now. So many people have told me that they're crying or they're releasing or they're just purging in general. I think a lot of people have been cleaning, trying to get rid of all the stuff that's piled up over the last little while so that they can feel lighter and better. So anyways, I'm going to talk about this a little bit more actually in some videos that I'm going to be making very soon, where I'm going to show you signs and symbols and words that have come up, in my daily practice. So stay tuned for those videos because I'm curious to see if you're resonating with some of these trends that are happening, but I digress. Let's take a look at the overall themes and messages for the chakras right now. The consequence of fear. Oh my goodness, not surprised. Well, one of the words that I was definitely going to use in the videos that I'm going to be making is fear. Fear is like the word of the day lately. This says contraction, the frequency of fear, self-fulfilling prophecy. If you're in the energy of fear, you're going to have more fear. Okay. Now, the other thing about this is the consequence of fear. So let me ask you this question. What is the worst possible scenario of making a move or putting yourself out there? Could it get any worse, let's say, depending on your situation? I don't want to speak for anybody, but here's the thing. Fear only keeps us trapped. So if we don't want to be trapped anymore, we've got to find a way to get through that fear or to get through that obstacle. So right now, I think a lot of people are worried about what's next. Let's take a look at these chakra cards just to see what else we need to know. And I have crown chakra, the downloads. I think a lot of us are getting very strong messaging, symbolism, dreams. I've been hearing this a lot from people. This also tells you about your connection, as in a connection to source or spirit or God, whatever you want to call it. Let's see what else we need to know here. Oh, there's luck. There is good luck. You are right to be strong and optimistic about the opportunities ahead. Isn't that interesting? We're so in fear. We're so in fear. Yet there's good luck here. And it's all perspective. Another word of the day that I want to put out there. It's all perspective. You might be doubting yourself, and this card is saying you are right to be strong and optimistic. Not that you are right to be in fear, okay? We want to be in good luck energy. So let's take a look at the chakras specifically. What I'm going to be doing here is using the Chakra Wisdom Tarot, which, as you can see, has all the different colors of the chakras or energy centers in the body. So let's start off with the root chakra, which is building a solid foundation. This is your Mars energy. Okay, the 9 of Cups. Ask and you shall receive. What is it that you want? And I've been saying this a lot lately to people, like, what do you want? Are you clear in what you want? Do you believe in yourself to have what you want? And the reason I ask that is because this card is orange, which is Venus, the sacral chakra. And so that is self-worth, self-value, and self-respect. And it means, do you believe in yourself? Do you believe you're worthy of achieving the things that you want. Now let's take a look at the oracle cards to see what we need to know. The beaver. Not surprised. The beaver is another symbol or sign that's been coming up. And this is about things working for you, but also against you. You know, but persistence pays off, or perseverance is key. It does say new things are on the horizon and making dreams real. The question is, what are you doing to make those dreams come true? I think the misconception about manifestation is that we just ask for what we want and then it just miraculously shows up. You need to be in the frequency of what it is that you're desiring. So whatever you want, you've got to be those things. So for example, if this is about love, make a list of all the things you want in a person and then be those things. You know, you have to be in the frequency of it. Just like it says here, the frequency of fear. If you're in the frequency of fear of moving forward and holding yourself back, then you attract people or situations that are in fear and holding themselves back, right? So let's see what else. The rings, commitments, agreements, bonds, connections, unions, lovers. Well, I did ask if this was about love, and it could very well be. You might be feeling that love is difficult. You know, you take a step forward, 2 steps back. You're afraid to push through. You're afraid to love again. You're afraid of being hurt. You're afraid of the other shoe dropping. You're afraid of not being good enough. You're afraid of making a mistake. I mean, like, insert blank. There's a million things you could be afraid of. But I always ask the question, what do you have to lose? What choice? What choice do we have? If we want to stay in the same old, we can. But we have to ask how that is working, excuse me. Now let's take a look at Venus, the sacral chakra. The hermit. I think some of you are isolating yourself right now. You are trying to figure things out. And I know it's not easy, you know, but you can't linger in that energy forever. It's okay to take a pause. It's okay to isolate a little bit, to, you know, recalibrate. But how long can you do that before you're pushed or nudged out of it? And I think that's another thing that's been popping up lately is the nudging. You know, another word that's come up for me lately is like badgering. You know, badgering is the idea of like trying to persuade or trying to push. Like, do you feel the nudging, the badgering of your soul to make a move, to be more open, to try something new? There's definitely a vibe in the air like that. And there's the Wolverine. Funny, I said a badger, but here we have the Wolverine. And that is fierce and wild energy, unpredictable. And that's the fear, that we can't predict everything, right? We have to be okay with the unknown sometimes. But there's a power struggle here of like, should I, shouldn't I? And yeah, we got to figure out how to get through that. Okay, so let's see what else we need to know about that. The pioneer, it's a long journey. It's a long journey, but you got to be bold. You got to be bad. You got to be bold. You got to be wiser. I'm thinking about the song. You got to be. Navigating uncharted territory. This is the thing. There's the light. All we can do in the hermit energy is to navigate the darkness with this light, step by step, day by day. I think what's happening now, let me know if this resonates with you. I think that the days are moving actually quite quickly, but what's occurring in daily life is very slow. And it's almost like the energy needs to catch up, and you've got to be patient for it to catch up. It's almost like this idea of someone tapping on their watch going when. And it's this trying to control time. And you can't control time. There's a fear of missing out, right? It's that FOMO idea where like, if this doesn't happen now, I'm missing out. Or it's got to happen now. It's got to happen this way. And that's all a level of control. Let's take a look at the solar plexus, which is personal power. What do we need to know? The Fool. You gotta trust and take a leap of faith and make some moves. You gotta allow the new energy in. Okay, let's see what else we need to know. The Woman. You know, it's fascinating when I see this because the Fool is a very masculine energy because it's doing, right? It's taking action. And by the way, it's not about gender. We all have masculine and feminine energy. There's nothing wrong with being in your masculine when it comes to your personal growth and evolution, right? You got to make moves for yourself. Now, if it's in regards to chasing a relationship, I would say don't do it because it's just going to chase and that person is going to run. Okay, the more you chase, the more they run. Stop chasing, they stop running, you know. But I love the fact that the Woman card came out here because the Woman card is about receiving, you know, being in divine feminine energy. And again, it's not about gender, but are you able to receive? You know, there's a difference between taking and receiving. People who are more likely to receive, reciprocate. Right? People who tend to take don't really reciprocate. So in other words, I want you in receiving mode. I want you in that feminine energy. So I want you to take action for your personal growth and evolution, but then I want you to receive the rewards. Okay? Now let's see what else we need to know here. Sorry, I keep knocking the table and shaking the camera. The Forked Road, definitely. I've seen this nonstop. You have a decision to make. Actually, this card says the moment of truth. That's what we're in right now. The moment of truth. No wonder I'm seeing a lot of communication cards. People wanting to speak their truth or needing to speak their truth. I mean, I would ask the question, who do you need to speak to right now? What do you need to say? And I will be putting this in the videos that I was referring to, the new content that I'm going to make. I'm going to show you some of the things that are coming up, and I think you're going to resonate with them. So let's take a look at the heart chakra. What do we need to know? Ooh. I feel like the cards are just not ready yet. Let's see, heart chakra. There. Oh my God, you can't make it up. What did I say? They're just not ready yet. The cards just weren't ready yet. And what's here? Three of Wands, sitting on the sidelines. It's never the right time. It's never the right time. I asked this question on live the other day for anyone who's a parent. Are you fully prepared when you become a parent? You know, are you ever truly ready? I don't think you're ever ready for that. Just like your first day of work and a new job, like you don't know how it all runs. You don't know all the policies, the rules, the this, the that, whatever. You have to learn it as you go. And the Three of Wands says you're sitting on the sidelines. It's almost like you're saying, I'm just not ready. I'm just not ready. But that's fear. That is fear. You're never ready. I was reminded yesterday on live talking about when I learned to swim as a child. You know, my parents put the water wings on me, and this is such a generational thing, I think. They put their water wings on me and kind of tossed me into the pool, and I had to figure it out, you know. And I think that's kind of a metaphor for things we need to do in life. You know, we can be afraid to jump in the pool, but once we do it, we realize, oh, you know, maybe that wasn't so bad. You know, we have to learn to take some risks. Learn to try new things, maybe to do things different. And by the way, the Three of Wands also talks about, I don't chase, I only attract. We're not here to chase a person, chase a relationship. I have to always say that. You know, this is about, you know, chasing your goals, your dreams, doing what's best for you. There's the key. Confidence is key. Communication is key. Clarity, breaking out from things. Liberty, there's freedom. Unlock yourself. Finding solutions. If things aren't working for you, you've got to find a solution. You've got to problem solve. And the only way to be able to problem solve is to put yourself out there and try something. I mean, you would never tell a child to stop trying. You would never tell a baby to stop walking. You would, or when they fall over, you know, would you say, okay, don't ever walk again? You wouldn't. So why do we do that as adults to ourselves? Now, this is number 33, and we just had a 3, so 333. You know, that's about teaching and learning and lessons. Let's see what else we need to know here. Within a few days. Oh, no, 7-7. Within a few days, you're going to be making some moves, or you're going to be nudged. You're going to find a solution. Okay, throat chakra. And I just asked you, like, what do you need to say? Who do you need to talk to? And we have here the 8 of Cups. Well, there might be some communication of I need to walk away from things that no longer serve. Walk towards things that are better. Now, I do see a little bit of a trend here. We started off with an orange card here at the root, which is, of course, that self-worth, self-value, self-respect. But look at this. We've got a flip-flop between the solar plexus and the root chakra. You know, the personal power to start something new. The guts to start something new, to build a new life or a new level of something. Now let's see, 8 of Cups. Milky Way. This is about feeling connected. Now this can be a card of social media and spying or observing. Now I have to tell you, the spying vibes are so strong right now. So strong. Somebody's definitely watching. And I can tell you that the Queen of Wands keeps coming up. And my advice to you would be, let people watch you versus the other way around. Like, Queen of Wands is about strutting your stuff, you know, living your best life and not really caring what other people think. But if you're the one watching, it means you're focusing your attention possibly in the wrong spot, because the focus should be on you. Let's see what else. What do we need to know? Oh my goodness. Okay. No surprise. I just talked about this morning. Okay, the corset, another symbol that I've been seeing. Look, something is about to burst, and it's about emotions. I think someone's been held together far too long and been stuffing things down, and there needs to be an emotional release, and that's why there could be some really important conversations happening, or some crying, purging, surrendering, but something's got to give, basically. Interesting. This is also an energy of people pleasing, walking away from people pleasing, or trying to be perfect on social media. There is no such thing as perfect. Let's take a look at the third eye, Jupiter. There you go. 3 of Swords. Look at again the pattern here. Solar, root, solar, root, solar. So I say that sigh with such a sadness because 3 of Swords is heartbreak. Okay, let me ask you a question. How many of you are in the energy right now where you thought your intuition was correct? You thought something was a certain way, and you may be realizing that maybe it wasn't. And that means you question your intuition, your knowledge. You question yourself, possibly, your identity. I've had a lot of people talk about this fear of moving forward, because if you move forward, it means it takes away from who you used to be. In other words, will I forget who I am? Will I forget where I came from? If I go to this new energy, will I be arrogant? Will I not recognize myself? Who will I be? What will I do? There's so many what ifs, right? And again, it comes back to the fear of being wrong, the fear of making a mistake. If I'm wrong about something, well, that must mean that all my experiences mean nothing. And that's not true. It doesn't erase what you've been through. It just teaches you lessons and verifies your work. And sometimes we're right and sometimes we're not right. And that's okay. It really is. We're human. So there comes a point where you have to let go of that hurt and that sadness or that mistake. But is it really a mistake? I mean, everything happens for a reason, you know? But I think people are struggling right now with being wrong about something, like ashamed of being wrong or upset about being wrong. And my goodness, again, we're human. That's part of learning. We can't be right all the time. We can't be perfect. We can't be all-knowing. It just doesn't exist that way. 1111, twin flames. Well, let me put something out there. I know it's not going to be an easy conversation. You might be sad about someone who you think is a divine partner, or a twin flame for that matter, or maybe you're having realizations about the twin flame journey. I think the thing about the twin flame journey that people don't always talk about is what happens when you reach a certain point on that journey and you have the hindsight. You know, I didn't anticipate that happening for me when I was earlier in this journey. I thought I knew what it was. I thought it was romantic. I thought it was unlike anything I ever felt before. And there's truth to that. But I also have learned in hindsight now that this was a catalyst for major change. And it was teaching me how to be my better self and how to let go of chasing and trying to control things. And love and romance are the byproduct or the bonus of all of this. And it's given me the greatest gifts I could ever imagine, which is all of you, and doing what I'm doing and making major changes in my life. I would have never have imagined going through a divorce, quitting my job, moving a bunch of times, going through all these beautiful things that were not so beautiful all the time. I made mistakes along the way, but I feel better than I've ever felt before. And that's because I had an opportunity for a brand new beginning. And it wasn't easy. It's a lot of work. But I would describe it as a heart chakra activation, like it says here on the card, a catalyst, an awakening, reflection of where I've been, you know, and it mirrored everything back to me to see what I could do differently. You know, I always ask, what would you like your person to do? Well, anything you want your person to do is more than likely what you need to do. So we want to bring balance to our lives and let yourself make the moves and then learn from them. Trust the intuition of the moment, but don't beat yourself up if something wasn't the way you thought it was. Let's take a look at this side here. The mother lode. There's prosperity, there's a jackpot, there's success, good fortune. And it's interesting because that's what I just said to you. It brought me the best reward I could ever imagine. Really, truly. So it's up to you and how you view it. It's all perspective. I think sometimes we get on this journey thinking that we're finally going to get our due. And we've all been there, by the way, myself included. We're going to get our due and it's going to solve everything. And we've been through the ringer and now, you know, it's easy street because it says right on there, on easy street. And that's not necessarily the case. Nothing is easy. If it was easy, everybody would be happy and healthy and abundant. You know, there would be no stress. There would be no problems. It's basically a test of your strength and your courage. And everybody is on a different timeline. Your healing is going to take the amount of time that is necessary for you. So don't compare yourself to others. There's no set rule as to where you need to be. As long as you're making methodical steps, whatever size of steps those are, great. Continue to do it. So let's take a look here at the crown chakra, and that was the card earlier. So what are the downloads? What's the crown chakra here? Another crown chakra card, 7 of Wands. Well, here you go. Are you on the offensive or are you on the defensive? Are you truly open, like really open, or do you put blocks in front of you? Do you cross your arms and say, Are you stubborn? Are you wanting to stay in one particular area because it's comfortable even though you don't like it? The devil you know versus the devil you don't know. This is saying basically, like, are you ready to stand up and fight, but picking that battle wisely? Don't ever pick a battle that you're not willing to fight. You know, you want to be taken seriously. So let's see. What else do we need to know about that? The heart, see, taking the methodical steps. Trusting the process. Venus energy, self-worth, self-value, and self-respect. Happening now. Sure is. Sure is. Now is the time. Wow, what a reading today. What a reading. Okay, let's take some last messages here and see what we need to know. Metal monkey, let go of control. There you go. Let go of control. Co-create with the universe. You have the ability to manifest whatever you'd like. And by the way, look what's at the bottom of the deck. You can move mountains. You can. You have to believe it. I really hope this resonates with you. As always, thank you for your kindness, your support. It really means the world to me. I send you so much love, and I'll talk to you soon.